Back again with another review, and this is a random review here for the 2023 film The Holdovers. And before I get into the review, I have to say right off the bat, I really liked this movie, and this is definitely a favorite of this year. The plot to the film here, you have this cranky history teacher who is played by Paul Giamatti, who works at this prep school, and he has to remain on campus during the holidays with a troubled student who has no place to go. And that's the plot to the film here. Directed by Alexander Payne, who directed Election, which I've never seen, but I've heard about. He also directed Sideways, another film he did back in the day with Paul Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church, which I've heard about, but I haven't seen. The cast here, you have Paul Giamatti as the teacher, you have Dominic Sessa as the troubled student, Angus Tolley. You have the character of Mary Lamb, who is played by Divine Joy Randolph. And you have some other people in the cast here, like the other kids and stuff. But Paul Giamatti, he really knocks it out of the park here. It's definitely one of his best performances, which I've always been a fan of Paul Giamatti. And again, this is definitely one of his best performances. Dominic Sessa, apparently this is his debut, and man, he did a great job here. And him and Paul Giamatti, they really bounce off each other well. They have a great chemistry. And the character of Mary Lamb, played by Divine Joy Randolph, which you find out a little bit more about this character, that she lost a son, that he was in the military, and, she's given a little bit of a backstory. And it really focuses on these three characters. There's other people, again, in the cast, like the kids and stuff, but, about 45 minutes into the film, they kind of leave the film and they come back later, which I was a little bit worried about. But I'm kind of glad they went in that direction, where it really focused on these three main characters. And some other stuff here that I really liked about the film. The opening of the film has a throwback feel, the classic Universal opening. And it has this really beautiful aesthetic that, because the film, takes place in the 70s. And I thought it really captured that well, taking place in the 70s. And even again, in the opening of the film, it has the scratches and a little bit of that filter of like a film that would come out in the 70s. And, the locations in the film, it's all shot on location, this prep school. Again, I really appreciate the filmmaking here and what was put into the filmmaking. And, it looks like a film, again, that came out back in the day. And again, I really miss that in movies today, where everything is, again, very digital. Everything looks so polished up, but the filmmaking here, I have to applaud Alexander Payne. And again, this is coming from somebody that I've never seen, any of his movies. But, I miss when films look like films. And this is a prime example of a film that, feels like something that would come out back in the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s. So I have to, again, applaud the direction here, the opening of the film. It's a Christmas movie, so, it definitely has that element throughout the movie, that it is a holiday film. And I would say it's definitely in the realm of, if you like Dead Poet Society, Good Will Hunting, it's really, if you like those types of movies, it is in the realm of that. But if you also throw in the kind of backdrop of, being Christmas and the holidays and stuff, the soundtrack, there's a lot of kind of like folky music here, which I liked. And, the supporting cast, earlier I talked about how the kids, they stay for a little bit and then they leave and then they reappear at the end of the film. which again, I'm glad that it went in that direction where we can just focus on, Paul Giamatti and, the character of Angus Tolley and Mary Lamb. And, as the film goes on, we start to get to know our characters a little bit more and what they're dealing with. Angus Tolley, who's dealing with stuff at home and with his father. There's some wonderful scenes here. There's a dinner scene which happens early on in the film, and I thought, Paul Giamatti does a great job of acting there. You got some scenes later on at a Christmas party, and again, just some great scenes between our characters and great chemistry. And, it really becomes wholesome, later on, kind of getting to, the third act of the film. And there's a lot of touching moments. It's a comedy drama, but there's a lot of, touching moments between, Paul Giamatti and the character of Angus Tolley. And overall, with the Holdovers, Paul Giamatti delivers an outstanding performance with great support from Dominic Sessa and Divine Joy Randolph. Wonderfully directed comedy drama with a heartwarming story. And yeah, definitely a favorite of 2023. But I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.